long-loved community figure in the city of Davis, stabbed and killed.
Where the man murdered at Central Park has been identified as 50-year-old David Breaux. Now is also known as the Compassion Guy.
Davis community tonight devastated by the tragic loss of David Breaux, the creator of the Compassion Is Project and bench. Davis police calling it a violent attack.
Breaux dedicated his life to studying compassion, and he even started a conversation about it with just about anybody who dared to answer on a downtown street corner. David Breaux shows us how the simple act and David Breaux's longtime dedication to selflessness had a profound effect on his community.
What is compassion?
Okay, so I think I always get compassion and empathy mixed up, but like the way I look at it is I think empathy is like step one of someone's upset and you're like feeling what they're feeling, and then I think compassion is the next step where like you do something about it and like you act on that feeling and you help them out.
Compassion is understanding that no one person is one thing because of one decision that they make. You love them for who they are.
Compassion is one of the greatest human traits you could have. It is forgiveness, it is caring for other people, it is being able to understand other people and relate to them. Compassion is ultimately what you need to be able to communicate with others, because people are going to make mistakes, people are going to have errors, there's going to be delays, there's going to be bad things that happen, and so being compassionate allows you to kind of forgive people for those mistakes, and it's a very important trait to have as a human being, and just as a communicator you have to have compassion to be able to roll with the punches.
Being able to kind of like relate to the emotions that other people are feeling.
To me, compassion is more than being there for your friends. I think it's, or anyone in general. To be honest, I think compassion is being able to put yourself in other people's shoes and see where they're coming from, instead of being like, oh, how is that going to affect me? Instead of, oh, how will it affect them and how can I help them?
To me, compassion can have a lot of different definitions, but I think the main thing that determines compassion is listening and understanding where someone's coming from and how they may be feeling.
So when I hear the word compassion, what I usually think about is just kind of like being considerate towards other people, trying to being like aware of like their situation and just understanding what they're going through. I kind of feel like it relates to like empathy, sympathy, kind of like all those like related terms, not so much like a definitive definition.
I think compassion is more than empathy. It's holding space for others and understanding that everyone is going through something and being there for someone.
I'd say compassion is sort of having sympathy or feeling for other people. Just, you know, it could be small things or big things. Like I think a small thing would just, I don't know if it's compassion, but like opening the door for somebody is maybe nice more than compassionate. Or just like having sympathy for people and their situations that they're in.
And why do you think compassion is important?
Well, I feel like it's kind of like essential to like caring about people, one of those essential human like emotions, so you're not just like discarding people away or just, you know, discarding any like event that's going on. You're able to actually like connect with people and individuals, I guess.
Because I mean, without it, like, what is anyone? You know, like, without it, everyone would just be alone all the time. No one would be helping anyone out, and everyone would just feel alone. I feel like compassion is a necessity for human connection, I guess.
It's because there's so little of it in this world. To be compassionate, you have to be intentional about what you do, and compassion is important because you'll stand out if you're compassionate, and it makes you feel good.
Oh, if you can't relate to anybody, you can't really like work or cooperate with people. So that kind of, from an efficiency standpoint, like that's somewhat important. Also, it like, yeah, it's kind of hard to think about a world without compassion, realistically. Like, how do you get anything done? How does anything like function without it?
You rely on it for so many things, more than just on a human level. there is things in society that are going to anger you, that are going to frustrate you. There are things that are unjust, they're unequal, just annoying in general. There are so many things and so many reasons that bad things can happen, and so not everything's going to be perfect. There's going to be mistakes in life, and people are going to make mistakes, and there's going to be errors that are made no matter what. And so being compassionate allows you to kind of handle that. And so it's very important to have compassion, because that is who you want to promote yourself as a human being, is who you want to be able to kind of like relate to people, and is just a very important trait to have just as a human being.
I think compassion is very important, especially today, because the world feels like it's very divided right now, and there's a lot of like people like to try to pick apart everyone else and like judge people, and I think what it boils down to is compassion. Compassion can solve that. Compassion can lead people to join communities and bond and just, I don't know, be happy.
I'd say it's important just to, we're all in this together, right? Like, life can be tough for a lot of people, and just knowing that, like, people are going through certain things when, if you say something mean or act mean towards someone, you have no idea what they're going through. So just always trying your best to just sort of show compassion for people.
I think compassion is important because we are human beings, and human beings interact with each other, and part of having good interactions and being able to communicate with each other is being able to understand each other. And I think having compassion helps with that understanding of why they're acting like that, or how can I help another person.
Because it reminds us that we're all human beings and that we're all going through things, and I think it's important to remember that, because it brings us together and it builds a world full of more love.